I boarded the night train to the city where we first met. It had been 7 years since I last saw him. 2 weeks earlier, he sent me a simple message. "I think about you. Let's talk." That was all. No explanation, no apology. I almost deleted it, but something inside me remembered how he once made me feel. I didn't tell anyone I was going. I took 3 days off work, packed a small bag, and left. On the train, I stared into the darkness and remembered his laugh, his smile, the way he used to look at me like I was the only person in the world. Back then, we shared everything. We had no drama, no fights. We simply drifted apart when he took a job overseas. He wanted me to come, but I had my reasons to stay. We promised to keep in touch, but time passed and silence grew between us. The next morning, I checked into a small hotel near the city center. I couldn't sleep. I wondered if I would still recognize him, if he had changed as much as I had. He told me to meet him at our old cafe near the park, the place where we used to sit for hours. I arrived early and chose the window seat we once shared. I ordered tea and watched people walk by, feeling like a stranger in my own memory. Then I saw him. He walked slowly with his hands in his pockets, wearing a dark coat. His hair was shorter and he looked thinner, but it was him. He stopped at the door, looked around, and then saw me. He nodded once and came in. "Hi," he said. "Hi," I replied. My voice sounded too quiet. We sat down and the silence between us felt thick. He ordered coffee and I kept my hands around my cup to stop them from shaking. "You look well," he said. "You too," I answered with a weak smile. He looked around the cafe like it was unfamiliar to him. That surprised me. We used to know this place so well. "I wasn't sure you'd come," he said. I wasn't sure either. He stared at his cup for a moment. "I've been thinking a lot about us, about everything." I waited for him to continue. "Why now?" I finally asked. He stirred his coffee slowly. "Because I've been lonely and I remembered how good you were to me." That wasn't what I wanted to hear. I wanted him to say he missed me, that he still cared. Instead, I felt like a warm memory, like an old song he used to enjoy. "Are you happy?" I asked. He looked down. "No, not really." I studied his face. He had changed. Not just older, but tired and worn. His eyes didn't shine like before. His whole posture seemed heavy, like he was carrying something he couldn't put down. "You've changed," I said. He nodded. "So have you? You're calmer, more sure of yourself." "I've had time to grow," I replied. "To understand what I want." He smiled a little. "That's good. I think I've been running from that." We finished our drinks in silence. Then he suggested a walk. We moved side by side without touching, a space between us that felt both physical and emotional. We passed a small bookstore and he wanted to go in. Inside, he picked up a travel book and his hands were shaking slightly. "You okay?" I asked. "I don't sleep much," he said. "Some health things, nothing major." He didn't say more. He used to tell me everything. Now he gave short answers and changed topics quickly. Something wasn't right. He was here, but not really present. He looked at me like I was a reminder of another life. "I want to see you again," he said when we parted. "Tomorrow, same time, same place." I agreed, but as I watched him disappear into the crowd, I felt something sharp in my chest. Not love, not joy, but worry. The next morning, I returned to the cafe early again. He arrived looking even more tired, his eyes red like he hadn't slept. "Rough night?" I asked. He gave a short laugh, but didn't explain. There was a strange energy, like he was hiding something. "You said you were lonely," I said. "But it sounds like you're running from something." He stared out the window. "I don't really talk to people anymore. Not the way I used to. You were so open before," I said. "I don't know how to do that anymore," he replied, his voice almost ashamed. After coffee, we walked again past quiet parks and closed shops. "Are you still close with your family?" I asked. He shook his head. "Not really. We stopped talking years ago." He didn't explain why. His shoulders were tense, his jaw tight, like he was fighting a storm inside himself. We sat on a bench near the river. "I was in a bad place for a while," he said after a long silence. "I made mistakes. I trusted the wrong people, got involved in things I shouldn't have, lost money, lost time. I hurt some people too. My heart sank." "Did you hurt them on purpose?" "No," he said, "but that doesn't matter. I still did. I've changed," he repeated. "But not in the way you think." "What do you mean?" I asked. He looked at me with tired but clear eyes. "I'm not the man you remember. I wish I were, but I'm not." "Then why did you ask to see me?" "Because I needed to feel something real again." I felt angry and sad at the same time. "I thought I came back to someone I knew," I said. "You didn't," he replied. "You came back to someone who's still lost." We sat in silence. The wind blew softly. "Do you regret calling me?" I asked. "No," he said. "You're the only person who made me feel human again." I stood up slowly. "I need to go." He didn't stop me. "I'll see you tomorrow," he asked. I didn't answer. I just walked away. That night, I couldn't sleep. I thought about his voice, his eyes, his silence. A thought hit me. What if I wasn't the only person he had contacted? What if I was just one of many old names he pulled from his past? The next morning, I didn't go to the cafe. I stayed in bed, scared and confused. I had come hoping for something warm, but found a man with dark eyes and a tired voice, someone who no longer trusted himself. At noon, my phone buzzed. "Hope you're okay." That was all. The next morning, as I packed to leave, another message arrived. "I'm sorry. Can we meet before you go?" I sat still for a long time, then replied, "1 hour, our cafe." When I arrived, he was already there by the window. "Thanks for coming," he said. "You looked like you expected me not to come," I said. "I did," he replied, "and I wouldn't have blamed you. You scared me," I said quietly, "not because you were cruel, but because you felt like a stranger." He nodded. "Why did you contact me?" "Really," he took a breath. I've been in therapy for 6 months, trying to face things I ignored for too long. Depression, guilt, regret. I pushed people away. I lied to people I cared about. I kept everything inside because I thought it made me strong. And now I'm learning that silence breaks you bit by bit. I reached out to you, he continued, because I remembered your kindness. I remembered how you listened, how you didn't judge me. I didn't come to get you back. I came to say I'm sorry. I didn't know how to love people the right way, not even you. And I hate that because you deserved better. I felt tears in my eyes, but held them back. I wasn't perfect either, I said. I was scared to follow you. I didn't take the risk. That wasn't wrong, he said. You did what was right for you. I lost a friend last year, he said. Someone close. It shook me. I realized how much time I've wasted. I'm sorry, I said. Me too. He looked up at me and for the first time since I arrived, his eyes felt familiar. Not because they were full of love, but because they were honest. I'm not asking you to stay, he said. I just wanted to face you, to tell you the truth. Finally, I have a train in 2 hours, I said. I know. We stood up. We didn't hug. We didn't touch. We just looked at each other for a long second. Goodbye, I said. Goodbye, he said. I walked out without looking back. At the station, I bought coffee and watched the train arrive. I stood by the door but stopped for a moment, turning to look down the platform. He wasn't there, and I didn't need him to be. The train took me home. I watched the trees and buildings pass outside the window. I thought about everything he said about guilt, regret, and silence. He was right. Silence breaks you slowly, but truth spoken with care can set you free. When I got home, I unpacked and sat on the sofa. I turned off my phone. I wasn't waiting anymore. He had changed. So had I, but now I knew something I hadn't before. Some stories don't need an ending. Sometimes you just need a beginning that belongs only to you.